welcome to today's video. I am Wabash and Midwest Modeler, and today we're going to be going over my train collection here. Just to show you guys what I'm kind of starting out with here, just so you guys have an idea. And then these next couple of videos coming up should be starting the layout and things of the sort. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so like I said, without further ado, let's get right into it. We're going to start here on the left and work our way to the right, getting kind of the bulk of the stuff out of the way and saving the small stuff for last. So without further ado, let's start with this GP40-2 BNSF locomotive. Really nice looking locomotive. This was in a Bachmann starter set. And it's going to be a great addition to my Midwestern themed switching layout, not shipping layout. But yeah, great locomotive. This is the first locomotive I purchased on my own here. But yeah, great detail. I don't really have too many other locomotives to compare detail on, but this one is really good detail, and I really like the look of this locomotive, and I'm really excited to get it running on the completed layout. But yeah. Let's quickly move on here to these rolling stock pieces. So I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time, but here is the first piece of rolling stock today, a Burlington Northern boxcar. This is a really nice looking boxcar, really good looking. I would like to get several more boxcars that look kind of like exactly like this. A couple more Burlington Northern boxcars, but yeah, great boxcar here. Really like the look of the yellow and black. Really nice looking, and yeah, it's been a great piece of rolling stock. The next piece of rolling stock up is this Wisconsin Central hopper car. This did have a coal topper, but I decided to take that out as I like the look of the kind of empty hopper more, just my personal preference. And this one has seen a little bit of wear and tear on the coupler. As you can see, this coupler on the back, I believe it is. Let me just take a quick look at this. It's not that one. It's this side here. This side back here. The coupler is a bit broken. You can kind of see that that little peg is not holding that coupling in place. So this coupling is kind of free moving around, so this coupling might be something I have to replace. I don't really know, though. I am not really the repairman expert, but let me know down in the comments below if there is a way to fix that without buying a whole new coupling. But other than that, I plan on buying a new coupling for this at some point in the future. So now let's move on to the next piece of rolling stock. Is another hopper. It is the Southern Pacific hopper. This hopper is really nice. It has a little bit of different couplings with the spring there. But yeah, I bought this separately from the BNSF locomotive, but on the same day, and was planning it to have a different kind of coupling that you will see later on the Amtrak and Santa Fe locomotives. But yeah, this is another good piece of rolling stock I have enjoyed. I really like these hoppers. I'm wanting to get some 2-bay grain hoppers in the future to fit my layout a little bit better than these. But yeah, this is nice while the layout is still under construction. The last piece of freight rolling stock with the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe locomotive is the Canadian National Gondola, I believe it is called. Haven't looked up the terms, but I'll correct myself later in editing. But this is another one. I really like the red here. I think this car will look really good weathered, so if I get a couple of other cars to practice weathering on to get it to look nice, and then weathering this one when I get good at the weathering, I think this will look really cool, a little weathered. But yeah, just while it's not weathered, it is a really nice bright red Canadian National gondola. I'm going to call it a gondola. And finally, for the BNSF freight train, we have the BNSF caboose, which, like the locomotive, looks really nice. I'm a little bit more used to like seeing the cabooses with like the jut outs on the side. So this one felt like just kind of funky to me, but that's because I'm just used to seeing other ones, mainly from a museum I see cabooses at. They have more of the sides jutting out rather than the thing on top, but still, yeah, good looking caboose that matches the engine. It's really nice and not really much to complain about here. Really good detail with the brake wheel and ladders. Yeah, that is going to be it for the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe locomotive. We'll move on to the second locomotive, the Amtrak. The story behind this is I actually have two of these. There's a second one with a second hole in the front. I believe this is an A unit locomotive or an F unit. It's one of the two. I looked it up and I wasn't quite sure what the difference was, but yeah. It's a very nice Amtrak unit. This was my dad's locomotive. I'm kind of borrowing it for this layout and things of the sort, and getting it some running time, since the only thing this thing does when I'm not using it is sit in the attic. So getting it some good old run time and keep it moving. Oh, and like I was saying earlier, these couplings here, I was hoping that the Southern Pacific hopper would have these kind of couplings, so it would go with my Amtrak and Santa Fe locomotive, but it did not. So now I'm going to be working on converting the Amtrak and a lot of the rolling stock that did not come with the BNSF locomotive over to those other kinds of couplings rather than having these older couplings. So that is something to look out for when I replace the couplings on this Amtrak locomotive. The next piece of rolling stock we have is a Great Northern Railway boxcar. This one you can see is in the middle of being converted. It has one of those new couplings and one of the old. And this one has opening doors on the side. Not on this side, apparently. This side, though, you can see the door slides open and shut. I don't have the best grip on it, so it's not going to work quite great for me. Yeah, I bought some couplings to transition over, but they did not fit in any of the rolling stock. So I have to go back another day and get better coupling replacements for these pieces of rolling stock. But this one's kind of half converted right now, waiting on that second one to replace here, so I can go with that BNSF locomotive. Yeah, this is another nice boxcar, nice looking boxcar. Personally not my favorite though. I'm not a huge fan of the green, but it works. Doesn't look that bad. So without further ado, we'll move on to the next piece of rolling stock, which is a Wabash work caboose. This one is in a little bit of rough condition. I say this is probably the most rough condition any of the pieces are. All the rolling stock pieces we are going over are with this Amtrak are all ones I've borrowed from my dad. So these are a lot older than the rest of the bunch. So as you can see, it's missing a coupling on this side. So adding a coupling here is a goal, as well as replacing this. And I don't think anything goes in the middle of this kind of U-shaped thing, but if something does, we'll have to buy a replacement for that. But yeah, another good piece of rolling stock. This is a Wabash work caboose, like I said. This kind of follows that Wabash theme with my channel, and I hope to someday get some more Wabash themed rolling stock, some coaches, and a Wabash locomotive at some point, but that is for later down the line. Now we move on to the next piece of rolling stock, the 50-foot Wabash boxcar. This is the second and last piece of a Wabash rolling stock I have. Really nice though. It's a nice 50-foot boxcar. but it's a little bit stiff down by where the couplings are. As you can see, these couplings, you got to kind of force them to get them to slide over. So I don't use it too much just because it derails itself a little bit on the track that I have currently. But if I can get everything running smoothly on this boxcar again, it would be awesome to include in the layout. But I also don't know if it will be too big for the layout either. So this one's kind of a 50-50 whether I use it or not. So along with getting some new Wabash stuff, some smaller Wabash stuff will also be coming soon. Alright, I'm only going to show one of these since the other one is the exact same, but the Amtrak coaches here. I have two Amtrak coaches. These do have lights on the inside. As you can kind of see, these bring power up into the train, and then when it's running on the track, it lights up. So a pretty neat little feature for these Amtrak coaches. Yeah, really fun rolling stock piece. I like to just kind of set the Amtrak on with these two and just kind of let it run on the Leap of Easy track I have. But other than that, it doesn't get used that much, but better used every once in a while than sitting in the attic forever. So now we will move on to the last three items, starting with the Santa Fe locomotive. This is my first, not my first steam locomotive ever, but the first HO steam locomotive. I did have an N scale at one point, but that got broken a long time ago. But yeah, it's a nice little shunting steam locomotive. This is also another one I'm going to have to convert over to the other couplings. As you can see, it has these older style couplings. Still a nice locomotive, and I intend to use it a lot. This is the fastest locomotive I have. So if I ever decide to drag race these on the channel at some point, unlikely to happen, but if I ever do, this one is going to be the clear winner. Yeah, this is a nice little steam locomotive. I'm a sucker for steam locomotives. I told myself I was not going to buy any more trains after the BNSF train, and then I saw this and was like, yeah, I gotta get that. So that is how this came to the collection for the first and currently only steam locomotive. The next piece of rolling stock fitting with the locomotive, a Santa Fe boxcar. This boxcar, though, its wheel flanges, I think is what they're called, are too big, so it derails on the points, as well as with the Ohio Chesapeake hopper, which will be up next. So not only does this need new couplers, it needs some more shallow wheels. So these trucks will be getting replaced with some more shallow wheels, so it works on the layout. But this is another nice boxcar, and it will also go with that BNSF locomotive in the yard nicely. So yeah, another nice piece of rolling stock. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the green boxcars, unless it's a more vibrant green. I'm not a huge fan of these dull greens. It looks about just as dull as it does from the camera as it does in real life, so you're not too far off. But yeah, not a huge fan of the dull green. And the final piece of rolling stock we're going to go over today is this Chesapeake in Ohio. This one, like the Santa Fe boxcar, the wheels are too big, so the trucks need to be replaced with smaller stuff, as well as the couplings need to be replaced. Yeah, this is a nice little hopper. This is the smallest hopper I have, and this top does come off, but I much prefer it with it on, as I like the covered hopper look. And when I do get the layout completed, it will be nice with the layout as well. So yeah, thanks for taking the time to check out my video today, guys. Thank you for watching. Feel free to tell me what you think of my locomotives and rolling stock collection in the comments below, or let me know if you have any cool locomotives in your collection. But like I said, thank you guys for watching. I am the Wabash and Midwestern Modeler, signing off. And again, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to see more videos come out in the future. Thanks for watching.